Happy Juneteenth, everybody. The Greg Green Livestream is back. It's back. I know it's been a minute, but I'm here back by popular demand. I hope that all the fathers in the world had a good Father's Day yesterday. I know I did. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Uh-oh. We need to mute that on over on YouTube. Can I pause that? We need to pause it. Let's mute it. Give me a second. Now we'll get behind. That's okay. Speaking of YouTube, again, the Greg Green live stream is back, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So again, happy to be back live streaming again. It's been a while. I think the last live stream I did was the Super Bowl live reaction. Up until that point, I had primarily been doing just live reactions to the Cowboy games and fighting with my cousin Rashad. But when I first started streaming, I wasn't really doing sports. I was just, talking a bunch of shit, trying to find my niche. Still trying to figure that out, but it's all good. It ain't nothing to it but to do it. If you're not out here running your mouth, you will never find it. But today, I'm back. It's been like this. The Super Bowl has been like 4 months, I think. By the way, how's the audio? Anybody watching, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Just give me a, yeah, Greg, we can hear you. There's been a couple times I've started running my jibs and I was muted. So let me check all the mute options. Good. All right. Nobody saying anything. So I guess I'm good. But anyway, I was saying that, let me just turn the music down a tad bit because don't want to drown out too much. How's that? How's the levels on that music right there? Is that good? Not too loud, not too low. Doesn't give me that awkward silence that I get sometimes. But yes, we're back. So I was just saying that the last couple times, or primarily the streams I've been doing were sports reactions. And so what I want to do for this comeback is start getting back to how I originally started, just kind of just like talking about things, trying to find my niche. But I had a lot of fun doing the football games. Do that again, probably this football season on a different channel. How about the speed of sports, or how about the Golden State Warriors just won the championship? I was rooting for them all the way ever since round one. Wasn't sure how they would do, but they really, Steph Curry really showed you what he's all about. So hope all those doubters are done with him. But I'm here to talk about sports today. I kind of just want to get back to talking about, life after 50, talking with my friends, things like that. So that's what it's about. So today, again, I want to talk about my Juneteenth weekend and Father's Day weekend. It was phenomenal, to say the least. Had a great time this weekend. Just got back here in Round Rock about 5 o'clock. So I took some time to wind down. Speaking of winding down, no pun intended. But I was, winding down, thinking about what if I want to come on tonight to come back. But I really wanted to come back right now because if anybody was watching me about a year ago, that was really one of the first episodes, or one of the first live streams that I did, was talking about my experience on Juneteenth here at the Round Rock Festival they have over at Old Settlers Park every year. I remember talking about the Catfish King. It's a famous catfish joint in the Austin area. And last year, Juneteenth, I was really excited about going to get some of that catfish. That didn't turn out so well, but that video is still somewhere. So if you want to go hear about that, you can go check it out on YouTube. By the way, remember to subscribe over on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back now. So if you haven't done that already, please feel free to go over there, do that. Don't forget to also comment in the chat whenever you want to. Sometimes I'll pay attention to it. I think I forgot how to display the comments, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out as I go. Like I said, it's been a while since I did this. I haven't played with my toys in a while. I just pulled them out of the box. But like I said, I wanted to get on today because, you know, one of my first live streams was about Juneteenth, and this weekend was Juneteenth. I want to have a little bit of a different experience for my Juneteenth. I grew up celebrating Juneteenth back up in Sherman, Texas. What up, Shermanites? If you're out there watching, I heard that you guys did y'all brought Juneteenth back to East Street, which is I think is great news. I hope to one day get back to East Street on the Juneteenth. I remember just growing up and every summer looking forward to that, and that being a big part of the summer right there on East Street. It's weird how, like, no matter where you go, like, all the black communities are on the east side of town. I'm sure there's a reason behind that. If someone wants to share that with me one day, feel free. Throw a comment in the chat. Tell me what that's all about. It's the same here in Austin. On the east side of Austin is the primarily the black part of town. When I grew up in Sherman, Texas, East Street, that whole community and neighborhood was the black part of town. That's where all the black folks live. And it was, I just remember it being fun going to the Juneteenth street dance on East Street, and the DJ, the music. That's back when it was cool to break dance. I had a break dancing group. I don't know if I've ever talked about it before. It was called the Egyptian Lovers. Remember that song? Egyptian Lover. I remember that? Yeah, man. Me, Peace Brad, my fam from the Austin area, Slick and Keith. Man, I know I probably talked about this last year when in the summertime, we would walk around Sherman looking for breakdance battles. Shit, that was fun, man. I had the headband and everything, but that was a huge part of the Juneteenth, experience back then was, the breakdancing and the groups. And that was really for me, was fun. A huge part of my childhood, and it was good times, man. It was good times. There's still b-boys around the way, that'll never go away. But I wanted a different. So I was talking about being in Round Rock and having to go to that festival every year. So when I moved here, I've been in Austin area for almost 12 years now. But I had never celebrated Juneteenth anywhere outside of Sherman until I came to Round Rock, and they have a great Juneteenth festival over at Old. It's funny because there's this big park. It's called Old Settlers Park, and back in Sherman we had Old Settlers Park. Now we didn't do the Juneteenth stuff in that Old Settlers Park, but there was an Old Settlers Park there. So Old Settlers Park here is like, well, if you're looking at the Sherman Old Settlers Park, this one over here is like on steroids compared to that one. So it's really a nice park. They do it big. Last year they had like Montel Jordan there. They always have some like old school, act come through. This year they had Kid and Play. But this year I didn't go to the Round Rock one because I'm actually selling my house, or trying to sell it. And I'm considering places to live. If you'd asked me maybe 3 months ago, I would have told you that without a doubt I'm going to move back to Dallas-Fort Worth area. back that way. And that's still on the table. But more recently, I've just kind of been exploring all my options because the housing market is so crazy right now. And I started looking in Houston, I looked at San Antonio. And so with that in mind, this year for Juneteenth, I wanted to do something a little bit different. And since I'm exploring, the option of possibly going to Houston, I wanted to just go down that way, just kind of see what their Juneteenth experience was and their vibe. And let me tell you, it was really, really, really good and interesting. I also went down to Galveston, Texas. And I'm not going to give you, this big Juneteenth history lesson, but if you know anything about Juneteenth, you know that's where it sort of all began with General Order Number 3, when the last of the enslaved in the Texas area got notified that they were free. A lot of those folks moved up to Houston. A lot of those freed slaves moved up to Houston, and so Houston has an interesting Juneteenth vibe, and I wanted to try to experience that. So it was cool, so I want to share a little bit about that. But like I said, if you asked me a long time ago where I was going to be going, I don't know. But everything's on the table right now. First things first is I got to sell this house. So that's going to really, help me speed up my decision. But in the meantime, the markets are slowing down. And I'm going to save the whole housing market thing for next week. But it's been an interesting thing. But anyway, going to Houston, right? So I decided that I wanted to, instead of normally if we go out of town somewhere or stay, we get a hotel room. But my brother, shout out to Fonso, recently started running an Airbnb out of a section of his house, which, he did a lot of work. Him and his wife, my sister-in-law, Phil, they started this Airbnb. And so just kind of been on my mind. I had never done the Airbnb thing before. And so I was looking for a place to go celebrate Juneteenth in Houston. And so, just get on the Google, see what's going on there. And so I come to find out they have this big, thing at this big blah, 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 at this, I have too much wine. At this park, it's called Emancipation Park in Houston, and it's in, the Black community there. So I wanted to try to find an Airbnb that was close to that park because that's where I wanted to go celebrate Juneteenth. Let me tell you why I picked that, because there's a lot of different celebrations in the Houston area. Again, I grew up just being used to just one in Sherman, but in Houston, they're everywhere. But I wanted to go to this one because they had some artists that were performing, some old school artists that I wanted to see. They had Sheila E., they had Isley Brothers, and they had Kool and the Gang. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Got a funny story about that one of these days about Kool and the Gang. But anyway, I was like, that's the one I want to go to. And so I want to try to find an Airbnb that was close to that park. So, if possible, me and the fam just walk there. So I go online, they got this really cool website, the Juneteenth Emancipation Park, 150th celebration. And, with these performances, they have they're pretty much giving away tickets. And so the tickets, you go online to get your ticket. By the way, thanks for all those that are tuning in. The Greg Green Livestream is back. I'm so happy you guys are doing it. I know it's a late Monday night, but I just got back in town. And so I wanted to kind of come on and share. Don't forget to comment in the chat if you want to. But I was talking about getting an Airbnb in Houston. And so I wanted to get one that was close to Emancipation Park, where I was going to, take the wife and kids. We were going to go see Kool and the Gang and Sheila E. and the Isley Brothers, and just sit out and just be around a bunch of Black folks having a good time. That was the plan. And part of that plan happened, part of it didn't. But let me tell you, I was saying that when I went to the website, the Emancipation Park Juneteenth celebration website, they had a place where you get tickets on the website. So now The tickets were free, but they were limited, right? So remember that. But for some reason, probably like a week before, which was probably too late, I was trying to get these tickets on their website. And all you have to do is just click on, I guess they would put it on your phone, or you could print out or whatever. But for some reason, it wasn't working. It wasn't saying that it was sold out. It was just saying that, I don't know, try again later or something like that. And so, but I figured that since these tickets are free anyway, I'll figure it out when I get down there. That's me. That's the way I think sometimes. And that's not always the best way to look at things, but that's what I did. So after I figure out where I'm going to go, I want to find this Airbnb because I'd never done that before. Usually we stay in a hotel because the kids always like going to the hotel pools and all that stuff. We're like, no, we're going to just, be somewhere close and get the real, Houston Juneteenth experience. So I found a great Airbnb that was it was probably about, the closest it was probably about a 15-minute walk from that house to Emancipation Park, which is probably kind of long for kids in the summertime. But again, in my mind, when I'm just booking this spot, I'm like, that's okay. And I thought that would be fine too, because I was thinking there's probably not going to be any place to park. Walking is going to be better anyway. So I've got it all figured out, right? I got it all figured out. And so we find Airbnb. It looks like it was a decent price, but where they get you, and it was a great Airbnb. I mean, it was like a 2-bedroom upstairs. It was really clean. There were some tenants in the different unit in the same building, but it was cool. Had the whole Netflix thing for the kids, all that stuff. It was really just nice. Felt like you were in an apartment or a house and not like a hotel room. So it was a good vibe. So I was feeling that part of it, right? And like I said, it was in walking distance of Emancipation Park where I want to go. And by the way, this Airbnb is in the 3rd Ward. Let me tell you, I don't know hardly anything about Houston at all, right? Obviously, I've heard of the 3rd Ward because, if you like Houston hip hop, you hear about the 3rd Ward all the time. And sometimes it may not seem to be a desirable place to be, but let me tell you, I mean, I don't even know what it was like back whenever. Right now, it still has, the essence of the hood, but it was a very cool place to be in because it sort of reminded me of where I lived growing up as a kid in Sherman. Earlier I was just talking about how usually the Black communities are on the east side of town. Similarly, when I was just walking around on 3rd Ward, I really felt like when I used to walk around on East Street or those neighborhoods over there on Orange Street, Sycamore Street, if you guys know what I'm talking about. That area right walking straight down East Street, that's the kind of vibe I felt when I was walking around because, I've been away from Sherman for like 30 years and ever since I left, I haven't really, been in the military and even come here, I haven't really been in embedded inside of all Black community. And so I felt that all that stuff started coming back to me and it was, it was dope. It was cool. And I wanted my kids to experience that. For whatever reason, I just did. I was just happy to be there in that community with all these people and then seeing people thriving. So I decided we're going to walk to this, this Juneteenth celebration is about 15 miles away. So we're all checked in and getting ready to go. And we wanted to wait till it got a little bit later because it was hot. Obviously, it's summertime. We wanted to be, it was, I don't know, maybe it was like 6:30 or 7. That was probably still too early, still too hot. So we get, I've got like this cooler backpack with drinks for the kids and snacks and all that shit. And so we set off on this march to Emancipation Park from our Airbnb residence. And I know my kids, I should have known they was gonna do nothing but bitch and complain the whole walk about how hot it was and why the fuck are we walking? That's how they were looking at me, right? And in my mind, I'm thinking about, no, y'all just embrace all this blackness around you. It's just like, shit, this is not the hood where I grew up. Like, you should be loving this shit. They're like, remember, we're talking about 13-year-olds and two 8-year-olds. They don't give a shit about any of that. They just want to go to the park, see the show, have a good time, maybe see some fireworks. It's going to be a great time. And, they didn't get while we were walking. And I feel like an old man because I start telling like these stories about how we used to walk everywhere when we were kids, but it's fucking true, man. We walked everywhere in the summertime. Oh, God. I mean, we had video games, but not to the level they have it now. Obviously, we had no cell phones and all that stuff. The technology was way like, not what it is today. But I don't know what part of me thought that my kids would enjoy a 15-mile walk in the sun to go to this place, right? To see the show. So they were excited about going, but they didn't want to walk. And I had to hear about it the whole fucking walk. Now, here's what makes it worse. This whole experience. Overall, this is a great experience. I'm just talking about some like personal shit with me and my family that just is kind of like weird. That made it not such a good experience. So we get down there, and now I remember. By the way, I had forgotten at this point that I even tried to get these free tickets online. I was expecting to go up there, walk in this park, and see the damn show. Had the lawn chair strapped, had the backpacks, the cooler, and the drinks, all that shit, ready to go. And man, you can feel it, the vibe, like it's on the way there. Even though my kids was bitching about the walk, we were seeing all these black businesses, bars, and restaurants. They had this third ward tour, this like bicycle tour. They had this thing where they had all these bicycles, and so you could pay for a tour around the third ward. So that was cool. We're seeing all that stuff as we're walking, to the event. So we get there, and of course, like I said, I'm thinking we're just gonna walk up in there, see the show. I'm gonna see Kool and the Gang, Sheila E. and Ozzy Brothers. It's gonna be great. Right? Even though my kids don't know who the fuck any of those musicians are, I was gonna show them who they were tonight. Excuse me. Oh gosh, need a drink. That was the goal. Don't forget to like the wherever you're watching. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Twitter, give it a thumbs up, share it, tell your friends, watch the Greg Green Livestream. So we get down there, and sure enough, they have it's fenced off and they got a gate, and some people are going in, but there's a bunch of people standing outside because they can't get in. Why can't they get in? Because they don't have no tickets. And so now I'm in a position where I don't have no tickets. But still, I'm thinking, I'm gonna figure out a way to get in here. So you look inside the fence, you see all the people in the big field. They got this big ass stage with the lights. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't even that many people in there, is what I'm saying. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna get in here. Because if we don't, how am I gonna explain to my family that we walked down here for nothing? Can you hear me okay? How's it sound? Give me a thumbs up if the sound is good. So I'm watching people get turned away, and I'm watching people get in. And so if I'm like, fuck, let me ask somebody what's going on. So I see these three ladies standing by the gate, and I'm like, hey, they want you to have a ticket before you can get in there. Is there any way I can get a ticket? They say, well, you have to have a ticket, but there aren't any more tickets today. It's done for today. No one else is getting in unless you have a ticket. And I'm like, damn. But I'm going to figure this out, right? So my dumb ass, just stands up there for a little bit, just kind of figure out, seeing what's happening, seeing who's talking to who. You know, my family's a little bit off to the side. They're just waiting for me to figure this shit out, right? And so I'm watching them, and I'm just looking, and I'm trying to get in. And so finally, I get to the realization I'm not going to get in. And I'm about to go tell my family that I don't have tickets because I didn't do my due diligence to make sure that we had tickets before I came, because I was going to be free. And we're just going to walk up in here, and now we got to walk back. After hearing them bitch the whole way to walk there. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, so how can I make up for this? I was like, okay, what I can do is I can just drive back. Oh, I can walk back myself, get the car, come pick them up. That was what I was thinking. But anyway, that's not what happened. But it was cool because, like I said, that as the walk down to the event, they were just, you know how black people do. If they can't get in, they'll just post, because you can still hear all the music. They just post up in the street outside the fence. Y'all know how the Bearcat fans used to do back there on 75. We couldn't get in the football game. They just go out there and watch it from the grass outside the fence. Actually, I was recently in Sherman. I think they're doing some construction over there, and I don't know if you can do that anymore. But anyway, that was cool. So people just posted up outside. So I'm like, hey, worst case scenario, I'm gonna tell them we can't get in, but we got these chairs already. We just unfold them, sit down with all the other people, just chill, you know? So yeah, that's that. But before I go back and tell them this, I hear this guy behind me, and of course he's got tickets he's giving away to people. Or he's got, like, I don't know, he's got some hookup. And I saw him taking people away, and they came back. And then the girls I was talking to, they said, hey, ask that guy. I think he may have some tickets. So I go, hey, man, you got tickets? He said, yeah, I got a ticket. He said, how many you got with you? I was like, 5. It's me, my wife, and 3 kids. He said, I only got 1. Y'all all gonna need a ticket. And I was like, oh, well, I can't get everybody in, like, on the family pass with 1 ticket. It's like, that doesn't work. So I'm like, all right. That was my last hope, but he pretty much just walked away, looking for someone else to give it to. Most people were in groups of like 2 or more, so it's kind of hard to give away 1 ticket sometimes when you're with a lot of people. Like, there wasn't, just some loner walking around saying, give me a ticket. So anyway, I go back, tell everybody what the hell's going on. We're not going to get in the show, but it's going to be okay because you're experiencing the 3rd ward and all this beautiful blackness. It's great, right? Let's just open up the chair, sit down, listen to the music, and wait for the fireworks. No, not what they wanted to do. That is not what they wanted to do. So, of course, it was all my fault. It was all my fault, and it was. It was. But I was determined to make this a positive experience. Now, in order to offer a positive experience for my 8-year-olds and 1 13-year-old, it was very easy. Just, get them some fast food. Yep, that was it. All I had to say was something like, well, we'll eat Pizza Hut or Sonic. Those are some popular spots in my house. And it was like, yay! I said, all right, let's just walk back. We'll get that done. And so we got to walk back. Yeah, we got to walk back. So I didn't even throw out the whole I'll walk back myself, get the car, and then come pick you guys up. I didn't want to go that route because I just want to see if they would walk with me, because I really wanted them to walk back. Again, in my head, I'm doing this whole, like, y'all should be appreciating all this blackness around here. It's Juneteenth, goddammit. And y'all black. So anyway, I convinced him to walk back with me. And again, it was good. We saw all this cool stuff. We walked by this barbershop. And of course, outside the barbershop, which, you know, barbershops are you know, it's not uncommon to find a barbershop in the Black community. And so there was these three brothers outside the barbershop. And before I even saw them, I smelled them. You know, they was burning one, which, of course, you know me, and those know me, y'all, come on now. I ain't got no problem with that. But at the same time, it was like, man, I'm trying to, like, you know, share all this positive Blackness with the kids. But these you know, there's people smoking joints on the sidewalk. But it was all good. They smelled it. We acknowledged it. And we tried to walk by like, you know, I didn't even see what was happening. But of course, you know, Black people being as friendly as they are, you know the code. Brothers just like, what's up, man? Y'all doing? Yes. Hey, how y'all doing? Good. It was just a good old vibe, and everyone was so friendly and so nice, and saying, man, you got a beautiful family. You guys from out of town. Obviously, we look like we was from out of town, walking around, backpacks and shit, and lawn chairs. What the fuck happened to me, man? Excuse me. So, I feel like the weirdo. But at the same time, I'm trying to be, you know, yeah, what's up, dog? It's all good, you know, in the hood with y'all chilling. But everybody was really nice. My kids had a good experience. We walked back to the Airbnb. And so, now keep in mind, this was not actually on Juneteenth. This was the Saturday before Juneteenth. So they had a 2-day thing, right? And so, when I tried to get tickets for the second day, obviously those were sold out, so I couldn't get tickets for the second day either. So we already planned to go to Galveston the next day for Father's Day and Juneteenth, because my wife is from an island. She's been itching to go to the beach. And so that was a part of the plan. Part of the plan was we stay in Houston, we do the whole Juneteenth at Emancipation Park the first day on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we go to Galveston, right? Hanging out at the beach and get that whole Juneteenth vibe, because of course, you know, that's where Juneteenth began, Galveston. And so I kind of want to get that vibe. Had a good time there too. So anyway, we go back to the Airbnb. By the way, thanks y'all for paying attention. I appreciate you. It's been a while. Greg Green Livestream is back. Just talking a little bit about my Juneteenth experience this weekend down in Houston and Galveston. Had a really great time on Father's Day. Spent time with my family. Boys and girls, please, whether it's Juneteenth, Father's Day, any other day, please kick it with your family. You know, date your family. Take them out for a weekend, even when it's not a special occasion. Because you'll appreciate it. I appreciate this weekend being with my little ones. You know, giving them a different Juneteenth experience. Even though it was different, it was similar to the one that I had. I can tell you for them, they had never had an experience like that before. They had never been inside a community where, you know, it was primarily Black and just things were going on, things were happening. And so I wanted them to have that experience. So we get back to the Airbnb and, you know, we get the pizza or something. And we watched, you know, Netflix. We watched Hustle. Adam Sandler, Queen Latifah, basketball movie, good flicks. We watched that, and we planned to go to Galveston the next day. So now, what we're gonna do? So it was all good. I was forgiven. Once we got to the house, we're inside the AC. I got the pizza. All was forgiven, and we just want to spend time together as a family, right? By the way, we got to see a lot in that 30-minute walk too. You know, there was about another 30 minutes or an hour of me trying to get in the place and just kind of walk around, talking to people and all that stuff. And then the 15-minute walk back, we got to experience a lot of Juneteenth stuff, you know? I think my wife's tagged me on some things she put on Facebook. And so just go check that out. It was just a good time. So get up the next morning. We're going to go to Galveston. I had been looking at some black-owned restaurants to try to go to for brunch or breakfast the next day before we went to Galveston, and came across this place called the Breakfast Club. Now, I had seen, well, actually, I didn't just come across it. When I was looking to come and, looking at places to go or things to do before we came down there, I came across a YouTube video where this couple had went to the Breakfast Club and they had their chicken and waffles, and they said they were amazing, this, that, and the other. And so I was kind of looking for it, but I didn't know exactly where it was. Turns out, of course, it's in the 3rd Ward, right? Not far from where we were staying. So the plan was to go to that spot before we went to Galveston. Now, when I saw that damn YouTube video, I don't know what day of the week they went on or what, like, if it was just like a Tuesday or some shit afternoon when nobody goes out to eat in restaurants. Because in that video, it was empty. They was like, they got in, they was eating, they just talked about how great the food was. And so we get there, and man, the line is around the corner to get in this place. And so we're like, well, this was about, I don't know, it was probably about 9:30, 10 in the morning. We're like, you know what? Let's table this until tomorrow because we don't want to wait in line. Let's table this until tomorrow because we got one more night back at the AirBnB after the beach. We'll just come here on Monday because it probably won't be as crowded, right? The Juneteenth day, even though the holiday is Monday, it'd be over, so it won't be the line won't be as long. So we table that, of course. Boom, I'm a hit because we just grabbed something quick to eat, and we're off to Galveston, which is only about, from where we're staying, only about an hour away. So not a bad ride at all. Just, I don't know why I hadn't, as far as beaches go, I haven't been down to Galveston to ever go to that beach. Actually, the first time I ever been down to Galveston was several months ago. Me and my buddy Tim invited me on a fishing trip. I saw those Facebook photos, but I'd never been down there before that, which is weird, right? Because one, I'm right here in Austin. It's not that far away. I've been here like almost 12 years. My wife is always bitching about going to the beach because she's from Okinawa and she was around beaches her whole life. But we had just never gotten down there for whatever reason. Even my cousin from San Antonio, and he always asked me to go down to Corpus and all this stuff. And I don't know. I'm just weird like that. But finally, this is the day that we're going to go down to Galveston and go to the beach. And so we get down there. I don't know where to fucking go. I don't know where the beach is. But we'll figure it out. You got Google, you got all kinds of stuff. We can figure it out. So wifey wants to go get some beach stuff for the kids, right? So we want to go to there's a Target on the way. We stop at the Target. We're going to get, the whole bucket and sand. They're going to make sand castles and all that shit. Great. So we get inside Target, and of course, they got a bunch of beach stuff and other shit that we want. And what time is it? Oh, I've only been going for 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep us to an hour because sometimes I get on a tangent. So we go, they don't have anything at Target. We get a few things, but there's a dollar store right next door to us. So they got everything at the dollar store. We can find, this is a beach town. Somebody's gonna have some buckets and shovels for these kids to go to the beach. Oh shit. And I'm excited for everybody. And so we get inside the dollar store, and of course they don't have anything. And my kids and my wife, because usually when they looking for shit like that in the store, I go do some other shit because I can't be around. I just want to kind of float around and just I feel like I'm leaving whenever I get ready to leave, and really I'm just waiting on them. That's what dads do. They wait. for shit. They wait for people to be done so we can go, right? So I'm doing that, and they come around the corner. Hey, we found some, bucket stuff. And I look, and they got this big ass red bucket. I'm thinking they don't like a damn beach, like the little small beach bucket. You get like a little net thing with the shovel. Everything's inside of it. They got the shovel, they got the scoops, they got the bucket. All that stuff is in there. Oh, shout out to my wife there. She's like, she posted a little bucket, right? So basically, they got a mop bucket. They got a big ass red mop bucket with like the metal handle on it. My wife's like, this is good, and I'm like, man, that's not like a bucket like the kids want to play with. They don't know. They don't care. I'm thinking this is a ghetto ass bucket. It's a big ass red bucket with the metal handle, like a beach bucket, like a toy beach bucket. It's supposed to have the plastic handle, the small. They got green, yellow, and red. This is the big ass red mop bucket that you can get at the dollar store. So if you need a red mop bucket, you can find one at the dollar store for $1.25. Ain't that some shit? Dollar store ain't dollar store anymore. Dollar Tree, everything's $1.25 now. Yes, inflation is a motherfucker. So anyway, so they just, I'm against the whole red bucket thing for whatever stupid reason. For whatever stupid reason, I'm against it. But the wife kid's like, fuck you. We're getting this bucket because we need some shit to put the sand in. These kids gonna make a sand castle. So I'm like, okay, let's get the red bucket. And so while we're in line, I'm trying to figure out where we want to go. I don't know where to go to be. I don't know what the best beach is to go to. I have no idea. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I usually don't do. And my wife's always beating me about it. I'm gonna fucking just ask somebody. And so there was this police officer that was in line, and she was with her kids, and they were buying some Father's Day balloons. By the way, it's Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Appreciate y'all. Well, hopefully your kids appreciate you. I don't really, all I can speak for myself. Anyway, so she was there with her kids buying balloons. I was like, okay, she's a police officer, she's a cop. She lives here. She knows where to go. And so sure enough, I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry. It looks like you from around here. Got these kids. We got this red ass mop bucket. We're trying to find a good beach. You got any good recommendation where we can go? Super nice lady. Shout out to her. I don't remember her name. She's like, oh man. She's like, listen, she goes, do you want to like go for people watching? Or do you want to go like find like a secluded place? Like, so you want family like beach? Or do you want like party, have a good time beach? I'm like, damn, that's a good question. But I got the kids with me. So I'm like, well, tell me both, but just, give me the family one first and we'll do that. So she gives us the whole like Texas style directions, at the light, round the corner, up the street, blah, 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 you'll find it. So like, bet. And so shout out to her. She was a super nice lady. And she did mention a restaurant called The Spot. She goes, if you guys want something to eat, because we had ate, actually, I lied before when I said we got something to eat. My promise was that we would just eat before we went to the beach. And that was the plan. So we go to this restaurant that she recommended. And it was great. If you look at the Facebook post that I had on there earlier today, you'll see cool little like beach right by the ocean. You can see all of it, man. And let me tell you, I don't know why in my mind, and maybe this is why I never went down there before, was just thinking like Galveston just has some dirty ass beaches. Because you gotta remember, in the military, I was stationed in Hawaii for twice, 4 years each. I've been to Okinawa, Japan, to get the most beautiful beaches in the world I've seen, right? And while, the beach at Galveston is not like, the top of what I've been to before, it was a nice beach. I was pleasant. I was like, this is fuck? This is good. Fuck, I've been tripping off of. Shit, this is Texas, man. I should know better. So anyway, you see all these people on the beach having a great time. It's hot, but just like, I'm in beach mode. Let's go to the beach. So we're asking the waitress where to go and all this stuff. So finally, she tells us about this great place we go with this parking. So whether you're familiar with it or not, she recommended this place called 8 Mile, this 8 Mile beach. And it was just a beach that was off of a street name that was called 8 Mile. It only has anything to do with Detroit or Eminem and any of that bullshit. It's just the name of it. Anyway, so it was about 10 minutes from where we were, but it's okay because we got to see the scenery down the seawall, is what they call it. Man, just like, I don't know, it was just super beachy and it was a good vibe. Galveston has a really dope vibe, a dope beach vibe. And for some reason, I had it in my mind that this wasn't going to be all that. But I'm going to go back before the summer's over. And so if you haven't been there, I recommend you go if you're in the Texas area or if you're just visiting. So anyway, we found this really cool beach where they have parking. This one thing I was worried about too was parking. But if you drive far enough along that seawall, at least during this time of the year, this weekend, there was plenty of parking if you want to the side of the highway, if you want to park on the side of the highway and then go to the beach. But this area, the waitress was telling us is that it's kind of a little bit more secluded as far as like parking goes, right? You got to park on the side of the main street and there's like parking right on the beach. And if they said, well, should we get there? There's parking on the beach. It was great. The kids, they got the red mop bucket. They got some other shit. We got the cooler. We got everything. We really, we really weren't that prepared. We could have been much more prepared for the beach because we didn't bring like any cover or anything like that. So they've got like rentals where you can like rent like the big ass umbrella and the chairs. But most people at the beach we were at just had their own shit. They had a big ass umbrella or they had one of those like those sports tents like get at Academy or whatever. I have one of those, by the way. But my wife taught me how to take it because she said it was too big, but it wasn't too fucking big. We could have used that one and it would have fit in the car perfectly. But anyway, that's in the here or there because we're going to take it next time. So anyway, we don't have that. But what we do have this, because every time we go anywhere in Texas that's kind of far away from here, more than a couple hours, we always stop at Buc-ee's. And if you're from Texas, you know what Buc-ee's is. And just get shit, whether it's t-shirts or, peanuts, brisket, all that shit. We load up. So we had this old ass, I guess one time we had bought a Buc-ee's umbrella. Now, it's not like a beach umbrella, but it's like bigger than like your regular umbrella. So we're like, all right, we got to use this shit. It's going to work. It's good for 2 people. And so we figured it would be good for us because the kids are going to be in the water and the beach, all that stuff. So sure enough, we get out there. We set up, man. And so here's all the stuff that we forgot that we should have brought, right? So one was a tent. Don't forget, or some kind of cover, umbrella or one of those sports things. If you go down there, and I know most people know this, but I'm just going to tell you anyway in case you don't know. Bring that shit because you need it. Obviously, we had the chairs, we had the folding chairs. We did not have a Bluetooth speaker, which we wish you would have had because there was other people there that had it. They was bumping, but it was really nice to have our own, listen to what we want to listen to. People were cooking out, bringing their mini grills. I got one of those. Didn't bring the mini grill. Now, my whole thing was that, we had already eaten. So probably wasn't going to, I'm thinking we're going to be there for 2 hours tops, get something on the way back. But people out there cooking out, having a great time. So we weren't prepared, right? But the kids having a great time. Senna had been down there the summer before with one of his friends and their family. The twins hadn't been to a beach since they were like 1 in Okinawa, and they don't even remember that shit. So they were super excited about the beach. Now, here's the thing about the girls. They're used to like going to our like community pool and shit, with chlorine and clean water. no waves. Now they were excited, but let me tell you, if you have been at a beach or been in saltwater for a long time, the first thing that will hit you, not only the salt, the taste of the salt from the water, but that shit will make your eyes burn. And you try to wipe the shit, and it's like, oh, and you're just making it worse because you got like salt water on your fingers and it's getting in your eyes and it just burns and it sucks. But anyway, after a while, you get used to that shit. So they got used to having a good time, playing in the waves and the sand. They're making sand castles with the mop bucket. So the mop bucket turned out to be, again, of course, I'm the fucking dumbass. The mop bucket turns out to be a great idea because you can make bigger like castles, and the kids have found all these seashells down by the seashore. That was so corny. It was funny. They found all these seashells, and I kind of got some artistic kind of kids. They like to draw and they make art and all that shit. They don't play sports. This set of kids don't play sports, but they're artists, man, and they can make some shit. And so they had the mop bucket like castle, and they found these seashells, and they put it in there, and they made it all decorated, all like the seashells like on the castle, and it was pretty cool looking. There might be a picture on there. I mean, it wasn't nothing crazy, but they had a good time. In fact, we were on that beach for fucking 5 hours. I did not expect to be out there that long. And I also didn't expect that I was going to be the one who was ready to go. But it was a good time. Let me tell you why. The people, man. And again, I don't know. I got this weird thing about Juneteenth, and that I think that people that aren't black don't appreciate it, right? Enough. And I don't know if they should, but a part of me is like, you should appreciate this shit more because this is history. This is American history. All this shit happened in America. So it's American history. It's fucking good thing that black people got set free. And if you was ever against slavery, you should just be like, damn good for y'all. And we're going to celebrate with you. I just don't feel enough of that, right? And I still, that's why in that post I put, it's okay to say Happy Juneteenth, celebrate it, celebrate it, whether you're black or not. Just go have a good time and appreciate why it's a good thing, right? Why it's a good thing. It's appreciated. Anyway, this is the thing that I have. I just don't feel like people that aren't black appreciate it enough. And I have this whole, idea in my head when I'm walking around seeing people doing shit and not acknowledging it, right? And that's okay because it's the way it's always been. But anyway, for some reason, I felt like people that were at this beach were sort of showing me their appreciation. And so this maybe they just be just friendly people, but I don't know. It's just weird. So here's some examples. First, so we're set up, and then there's a family that comes and sits close to us. My guess is they're Mexican. They could be from somewhere else in South America. I don't know, but they were Spanish speaking. And one, it was a husband and wife that are probably about my age, probably in their 50s. And they had their son and their son's girlfriend. Now, obviously at the time when they first came, I didn't know any of that shit. But they were just, being nice and friendly. They gave me a compliment on my hat. Or I think I was drinking a Corona because I went and got some Coronas. I was trying to channel my inner Snoop, right? I was on the beach with my Corona, the whole Snoop commercial thing. It's the fine life, baby. That's what I was in my fine life, baby vibe on the beach with my Corona, just chilling with my damn Buc-ee's umbrella. My kids had the red, mop bucket, making sandcastles and shit. I was having a good time. And so maybe just appreciated me having a good time. He's like, yo, you got the Coronas, that's good, man. I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking in my head, happy Juneteenth. You know, I didn't say that shit, but anyway, he's just being super friendly. And we're talking and they set up. Now, of course, they're prepared. They've got the whole cover and all that stuff, and they got everything. And we're sort of talking back and forth, you know, making fun of each other's dad bod and all that stuff. And they were just good people, man. He was offering me, even though, you know, I had a cooler full of beer, he's offering me beer. He was like, man, just so you know, I got you covered. Just like some I don't even know this dude. He's like, man, if you run out of beer, I got you covered. And part of me was like, is he showing some appreciation for Juneteenth? Or is he just being nice? Or maybe it's a combination of both. But that's not the end of it. So another family comes up, kind of towards the end, right? So we've been like 5 hours, right? So kind of maybe the last hour or two that we were there, this other Latino family comes up. And there's a few more of them. And of course they're ready. They got the tent, they got the grill, they got a table, they got the chairs, they get it set up, boom, boom, boom. Then we got the fire going. And I'm like, me and my wife's like, damn, we weren't ready for the beast today. But let me tell you what these people did. And again, I don't know if it's like some, you know, because remember, for some reason, I'm walking around with this idea that people that aren't black aren't showing enough appreciation for the Juneteenth holiday. That's just like, you know, that's already like embedded in my mind. But these people out at the beach are being nice. Like I said, the first family just started from the conversation, offered me beer, and we're just nice the whole time we're there, just kind of having small talk the whole time we're on the beach. This other family comes up, they bring out all their stuff, and they're really throwing down. They're cooking a lot of meat on this grill. They got meat, they got like avocados, they got tortillas, they got the whole shit. They got ribs, all that shit. So, and we're just sitting there, you know, smelling the smoke, and just thinking, man, we're gonna stop somewhere and get something to eat after this, because starting to get hungry. So, after they get set up, they got all their food cooked, and I'm just kind of like having small talk with the wife. Remember I said we didn't bring no Bluetooth speakers, so I'm playing like songs on my phone, having to do like this shit. Hear this shit on my phone. I'm playing old ass, like, you know, so back when I was a kid on East Street, you know, I'll get back to this when we get back to Third Ward. But I was playing songs like from the 80s and 70s. I was playing like Marvin Gaye and the Gap Band and Earth, Wind & Fire. This is all the shit like you always hear at the black events. That's the music you go. I'm playing that shit because I'm in fucking Juneteenth mode. And so I'm having small talk with the wife, listening to this music. And the family that came up was barbecuing. I noticed, you know, one of the kids that was with them was walking towards us, and he's got a big ass plate of food. Now, remember, I don't know these people. I haven't talked to them at all. They're just like sort of set up shop close to us. They see us over here, you know, having, you know, doing whatever with our family. And they send their kid over with a plate full of meat and tortillas, avocado, some kind of like little noodles things, and was like, hey, we wanted to bring this over for your family. I'm like, thank you. And then I look over at the parents of the kid, and it's like two families. And so together, and I said, I'm like, give them the wave, like, thank you. I appreciate that. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And they start holding up Coronas. You good? You want a Corona? You want some beer? And I'm like, no, I got my own, but thank you. And so again, I'm thinking there's just some weird Juneteenth thing happening. They're showing some appreciation. I've been all fucked up, right? Like, I haven't been, I don't know, people, I could be wrong. They just could be nice people, which is, I guess more than anything is what I appreciate about their own experience. Because, and this is why I think people need to go outside more and talk to people and interact with people, because I think we're turning to this culture where everyone's at home on their devices, you know, and interacting with each other that way, and just listening to people's bullshit, you know, listening to people's conspiracies, listening to people's fucked up ideas about the world. And the world is, there's some fucked up shit about the world. There's some fucked up shit about America. But in general, most people are good fucking people and nice and want to look out for each other, you know? And want to, you know, and see a family over here obviously not prepared for the beach. They ain't got no fucking grill. They got this small ass umbrella. They got some fucking, they got some dollar store cheese puffs. We literally have dollar store cheese puffs, and they do not taste like real cheese puffs. They taste like fake ass cheese puffs. We end up throwing them away. So they see this, and they bring us this plate full of food for us to enjoy. And man, I'm like, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, Happy Father's Day to y'all. Thank you for this food. And so the kids are in the water. They see me and mom over snacking on all this food. They run over. We start, you know, my wife is like, she's like a feeder. She likes to see them kids eat. So she would give up her old plate to feed them babies. And so she's giving the kids food and all this stuff. And so it was cool, man. And even before we left, they brought over another plate, and they were like, because I guess, you know, the first time they, you know, they kind of noticed they didn't know the kids was around. They said, yo, there's another plate for your kids. And I'm just saying, man, I just appreciate people's kindness. And sometimes I think we don't do that enough. We don't appreciate people's kindness. And so again, I don't know if it was, no, there was really no, and I'm sure there was a lot of Juneteenth stuff going on in Galveston. And this is kind of a part of why people I don't think people appreciate it, is because I wasn't getting, like, just driving around, I wasn't getting the whole Juneteenth vibe. But I always had to spend time with my family, and, you know, the birthplace of Juneteenth, it was a great opportunity for me to share with my kids the significance of Juneteenth, because I live in Texas, right? And in Texas, you know, they don't want our schools teaching this stuff for whatever reason. And maybe that's why I felt the way I did about the whole, you know, people not appreciating it. You know, they don't, I never learned about Juneteenth in school. I just grew up in it, right? My kids didn't grow up in the environment that I did as far as Juneteenth goes. I mean, mostly it's, you know, celebrated in Texas. I know there's other states that celebrate it, but it's, for me, it was like a Texas thing. My kids really haven't lived here a lot, especially my older kids. And so I really hadn't had the opportunity to share with them my own personal Juneteenth experience, like when I was a kid coming up, and then why they should appreciate it, and then the significance of being in Galveston. Is, you know, you can be pissed off about the whole Texas thing with, you know, critical race theory. And I did a show about this a while ago, and I didn't really articulate my thoughts like the way I wanted to, but I'm not going to bitch about that. All I can do is go vote. That's all I can do. But I see it as an opportunity for me to teach my kids, myself, the things I want them to know about, right? And so if you're upset about all that bullshit, just teach them yourself, especially when it comes to history. If nobody else cares, you care, and just tell them. Just tell them about your experience as a kid, right? especially if you're from Sherman. A lot of good Juneteenth memories back in Sherman. But anyway, it was cool to take my kids down there, Galveston, Texas, on Juneteenth, where it all began, and not only let them go run around on the beach and have a good time, but have them experience the kindness of people. So they not only learn about Juneteenth and the significance of it, and I'm not going to go into that whole thing because I would like to, but I'm not going to. If you want to know about Juneteenth, you can go find out yourself if you don't know. But I want to share that with my kids, but I also, it turned out that they also got a lesson in kindness. So be kind to people, man. If you're out cooking out at the park and you see people that didn't come prepared and don't have anything to eat, make them a plate. That's what these people did for me, and I appreciated it. And I wasn't even hungry. I don't know. It was just, I was blown away by the kindness. So I didn't get all those people's names, but the first family that we met, the guy wanted to give me beers, and the second family that brought us food, shout out to them. I'll never forget that experience. And so I appreciate it. And so, again, the whole Galveston thing was a one-day trip. So we're just going to stay there for the day, then drive back to the Airbnb in Houston, and then do the whole, third ward thing. Now, in the third ward, we were staying, if you're from Austin area, like what 6th Street is like. So in the third ward, at least on Juneteenth, I don't know what it's like the rest of the year, but at least on Juneteenth, so the actual street that we walked down to go to the event the day before, it's called Emancipation Avenue, I think, Avenue or Street or whatever it's. That whole street is like a black 6th Street. And it was cool. It was fun. It was just people out having a good time, people selling things. There was a guy close to where we were staying that was, or not a guy, but there was like this business, they were selling like, fish sandwiches. And that's what, so we went and got some of the, just some of the local stuff that was on the street. When we came back from Galveston, we went and got some food there, and it was just great. It was a good experience. You just you see like motorcycles riding by, jamming music, playing that old Juneteenth music. It was just a good time, man. Just being around blackness. It was really cool. So anyway, all right. So last thing I wanted to talk about was, remember, before we went to Galveston, by the way, thank you for watching. The Greg Green Livestream is back. I don't know, maybe if somebody's sticking around and you want to jump on, I'll put a link. Let me know if you want to come on and just chat. I want to get all this stuff out though before I bite anybody out, because really what I want to get back to with the show is just bringing on like friends of mine, old friends, new friends, talking about life experiences, talking about being a parent, talking about being 50 plus if you're in that age category. But so remember, before we went to Galveston, we stopped at the Breakfast Klub, which is a black-owned restaurant that's well known for their chicken and waffles. They call it Wings and Waffles. And so we didn't go on Saturday or on Sunday morning because the line was just way too long. So we tabled it to go the next day, which was today. And we got up, we're supposed to check out at the Airbnb by 11. We actually leave at about 10:30, and we're off to the Breakfast Klub. And so we get there, and although the line was not as long as it was the day before, it was still really long. But I was determined to close out this Juneteenth experience with a black-owned restaurant, and my wife has been wanting to get some chicken and waffles. But I knew, remember, the walk from the Airbnb to the Emancipation Park on Saturday, that didn't turn out too great because my dumb ass didn't have tickets, and I made my kids walk in the heat for 15 whole minutes, and we didn't even get to see the show. Now we got to go wait in this line, by the way, which is wrapped around the building outside, and it feels like it's about fucking 100 degrees outside. But we're going inside this place. I was determined. And I figured that, I was like, listen, these people would not be out here waiting if this shit wasn't really good. They just wouldn't be. So even my wife, she was on board. She's like, yeah, we got to try this shit no matter how long this waits. So I let the kids out because I found a parking spot. Actually, I found a great parking spot. By the way, so again, this place is called the Breakfast Club. It's in Houston. Just Google it. You'll find out where it is. It looks like if you've never been there before, when you get there, it looks like there's no parking anywhere. But if you know the place, they have designated parking areas. So just ask somebody to look for it, because it took me too long to find that shit. But I found it, and so they do have designated parking. So don't think there's no parking, or that if you park somewhere you're gonna get a ticket. Just either ask somebody to drive around the block, and you'll see the signs that say the Breakfast Club parking. And I'm telling you that because I highly recommend this place. Right? I highly recommend it. So anyway, we I let the kids out, they get in line, I go park the car, and I come back, and yeah, it's a super long line. It's hot outside. And you saw the pictures on Facebook. That was a lie. But again, I'm determined to have my family experience this black shit. Because it's Juneteenth, goddammit. This is the last story. I promise you. I'm only 11 minutes over. I want to keep it an hour, but this is going to definitely go an hour and a half or less. I usually run them out for a couple hours on this thing. So, very cool restaurant, right? It's like I said, famous for their chicken and waffles. On the menu, it's called the Wings and Waffles. So we're in line. It's hot. And they got like, part of the line is on the side of the building, but then, if you get to the back of the building, the line just kind of goes off. Or at the building, there's like a shade cover. So it's a little bit, more tolerable when you get that point. But before we get to that point, it's like, damn, like line's like moving. No, it's not moving, but it went okay. Ultimately, we waited for like an hour, which is kind of typical in most places that people have to go eat. But the only bad thing was it was outside in the sun. Now, here's the thing. Here's how they made it a little bit, they made it worth the wait a little bit, because they had little water stations outside. They recognized that, they can't fit a lot of people in this restaurant. They got a high demand for these waffles and chicken, or waffles and wings, or wings and waffles. There's a high demand for it. The least we could do is put like a water station out here. These people are waiting in the heat. We'll give them water. I thought was a great touch, because they have to do that shit. They did not, but it's there. Ice cold water is good. It's self-serve. I was telling my wife that I was like, the one thing that would have made that just a little bit sweeter, if they would have had people like serving the water, saying thank you for your patience, stuff like that. That would have been like but that's just nitpicky shit, right? The fact that they had water out there, plenty of it, ice water for people waiting in the sun, was a great idea, and just great. It's a great customer service idea, and that was there. So finally, you get in the shade, and we're like, oh, that's better. And then, the other part of the experience is that, and you don't really expect this, but I should have, because when you're waiting in line for a long time with people, you just start talking to people, right? You get a little bit impatient. You start talking to people. You start getting to know people. And again, when you get out from in front of your devices, go to places that you've never been before, and you talk to people, and generally there will be a showing of kindness. And I'm not always talking about like the kindness that comes from like giving you shit, like the people that on the beach give me food, but just people just being nice to you, having a conversation. People get on these things now, man, and all they do is talk shit about people and talk about shit they don't like or don't appreciate. Because there's that space. There's that, you feel like this safe space. I say whatever the fuck I want to say, and fuck you, don't like it. Okay, whatever. But most people aren't like that. Those people that are like that, just there's something else going on with them that we can never know about. Right? So get out, go someplace you've never been before, and talk to people. I'm saying this to myself as well, by the way. This is for me because this is a lesson that I learned this weekend. And again, because it was Father's Day, you know, it was cool that my children got to experience this. At the same time, I was experiencing it, and we could talk about it, right? And so, you know, we're talking to people in line, and there's like, you know, there's a running joke that develops because the lady that comes out, by the way, and I wish we got this lady's name. She was fantastic. But if you look at the Facebook post, the lady in the video, she comes out on the side of the building, just kind of makes some announcements on what it is that you need to do in order to help this line move faster. You need to know what to do when you get to the front, right? They've got the whole scan codes on the side of the building. So scan, look at the menu, know what you want. Shout out to my Aunt Jean. There she is. I'll see you, Auntie. I love you too. Love you too. So she's out there making some announcements, telling people what to do to be ready when you get inside. Because, so for one, there's no like, even when you get inside, they don't like sit you at a table. They wait for some shit to open up and you go find a table and sit down. But they want to have an idea how many's in your party, so they'll, you know, they can kind of help things move along because they got different tables with different, you know, sizes, right? And so sometimes, so the cool thing, again, another great touch is she comes out. If you watch the video on Facebook, she's yelling at people, hey, this is what you do. And I just thought that was just great. And that's why we took a video of, because it was like, it's right. Sometimes people need to know what to do because they'll get up there and won't know what the hell's going on. And people be waiting for shit longer. So she does that, which is fantastic. But sometimes she will come out and she asks you, how many's in your party? How many's in your party? How many's in your party? If you had the right number, even if you were at like the halfway or in the line, if you had the right number of people, she would move you to the front. Like, damn, they're lucky. Then I got a good laugh. You know, I'm always trying to make jokes. I have my moments. But every time somebody would go ahead of us because they had the right number of people to get a table, I would just say, congratulations, you made it, congratulations. And that kind of was like the joke in the line. And yeah, that bit was a hit. Probably because people needed some form of entertainment, even if it was stupid, right? So she's doing that whole thing. So when we never know. She asked us one time, how many you got? It's like 5. Like, well, too many. Like, damn. And that was cool. I was like, what was the number? Because we could probably get away with a table of 4 because my kids are small. But anyway, we finally get to the front. And if you see that picture of my daughter, Louie, sitting in front of making the Wakanda sign, she was pissed. If you saw that photograph, she was like, I can't believe, you know, yesterday we walking in the sun, today we waiting, daddy wants to see all this damn black shit, and all we do is waiting and walking in the sun. And so I was hoping that these damn waffles and wings was gonna just be the thing that got me over. It was worth the wait. And so finally we get inside. And again, the lady that was coming out, she's talking to us inside, explaining everything that's happening inside, everything that's going on, what to do, how to make it go faster, how to get your order. She tells us how big the plates are. She was like, I hope y'all she's like, hope y'all don't get y'all's own plate because these plates are big and they got a lot of food on them. So just make sure you don't get too much. And I appreciated that because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a place, ordered a bunch of shit, and it was way too much. Because my kids don't eat a whole lot, but I don't know. You just never know how much you're going to get. So again, I appreciated that. And again, it was a great service touch. And plus, she was just super nice and super sweet. She was funny because we was making a joke about finally getting inside. She was like, "You're inside, but they're still away, so don't get too happy." So that was kind of cool. But it didn't take too long. And we got up there, ordered the food. So basically, what we got was 3 orders of the wings and waffles, and we got 1 order of it was like a 3-stack of pancakes with some bacon and eggs. And the twins would share that because, again, we knew these pancakes were going to be pretty big, and then we could probably all eat our own plate. But let me tell you, we got that stuff, and yeah, it was a lot. I still have leftovers that I'm going to eat after this. I ate a little bit before I came on, but I'm going to eat a little bit more after this. And so we get our food, and my whole thing was like, man, it's got to be worth it because the kids were like, they were angry. They had their heads down on the table before the food came out. They was like, this is some bullshit, Daddy. And I'm trying to get them to appreciate, again, all the blackness in the building, all the art on the walls. They playing Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and Mary J. Blige, and it's just a black vibe in this. And I'm like, these chicken and waffles gonna be slamming. I just know it. They got to, because my kids hate me right now. And I have to tell you, that shit was on point. You remember the whole, remember that old Bill Cosby himself joke? And he's talking about like giving cake to the kids for breakfast, and they was at the table, Daddy's great. Give us chocolate cake. Remember that? That's like, my kids was like that when they got this food. It was that good. So even the chicken was fried perfectly, right? It reminded me. So when I was a kid, on my dad's side, I had cousins on my dad's side. Shout out to the Booker family. I spent a lot of time with them as a kid, and whenever I ate dinner with them, their mom, my dad's sister, shout out Aunt Freck, she always made fried chicken and rice. And to me, that was like my favorite fried chicken. Now, everybody's fried chicken, but that was like her fried chicken was really good to me. And this chicken at the Breakfast Club reminded me of that. It was perfectly fried. It was perfectly cooked. We had to wait very long after we ordered. It came out hot and fresh. If you saw the Facebook picture, like there's like a little strawberry inside the waffle and the chicken's around it, the chicken wings. And it was just, and I never say the word delicious. I don't know, I never say it. You just say like, tastes good, or that shit was good, or whatever. You never say shit was delicious. This shit was delicious. It was great. It was well worth the wait. So, and the people were fantastic. Shout out to Terry. Terry is the general manager at the Breakfast Club. And, he checked on us often. Was, again, telling me how a beautiful family, and just ask us, if we'd ever been there before and how was the food. And I was just like, man, it was just great. And I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited, not only because the food was good. I didn't plan on this. Just kind of turned out to be a theme of this stream today is just people being nice and kind. But the food wasn't just good, but just the people were just kind. The people in the line, the staff there, everybody was just super nice. And I like to people watch, especially if I'm waiting in line. and I just was starting again to appreciate Blackness, right? Black women, especially, is like, because, you got like, they got the braids and the weaves and the nails and the eyelashes and the house shoes and the edges, had the edges done up. And people ain't never been in a Black community before. That's what they made feel strange to them or look funny. But I just thought it was beautiful, man. The jumpsuits, they're playing Music Soul Child in the back, and my mind's gonna crazy. That's the song I was playing as I was leaving. And it was just a great, positive experience for my kids in the 3rd Ward, Houston, Texas. So shout out to Houston, shout out to the 3rd Ward, shout out to the Breakfast Club. I recommend if you guys are in the Houston area, go eat there. But depending on when you go, there may be a line. But get in the line, wait, and just talk to people and enjoy the experience. And be kind. Because most people have, a certain amount of kindness that they would never show if you don't interact with them, usually. Or sometimes you don't even have to interact with them. You have to be present. You just have to put yourself in their space, and somebody's gonna bring you a plate of food. Somebody will tell you that you have a beautiful family. Somebody just give you the "What's up, dog? What's up?" and smile. So that was my Juneteenth experience in 3rd Ward in Galveston. Yes, the Greg Green Livestream is back. Whether you watch this or not, if you're watching the playback, I appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up and a like. Subscribe over on YouTube to the Greg Green Livestream. If you haven't done that already, hit the whole, bell thing, whatever that shit is. People always say that, so I'm supposed to say it. So shit, maybe that'll get people to follow. Share it. I would love to know about your Juneteenth experience, whether it be this past weekend or whether it be, in your childhood or last year or whatever. I would love to hear about it. Send it to me in chat. I can revisit this conversation at any point during the year. Next week, a month from now. I think last year I was talking to Peach Brad about it. Our experiences as a kid at Juneteenth. And so it's really my favorite time of year. I'm so happy that, it is being recognized as a federal holiday. I didn't have to go to work today. I work for a great company and they're all about it. Take the day off. So yeah, I think I want to wrap this up. I said I was going to be done by 11:30. I appreciate you tuning in. Let me know how your Juneteenth went. Let me know how your Father's Day went. Next week, I want to talk a little bit about, trying to sell my house and trying to figure out where I want to live. Who has any ideas? Should I move to Dallas? Should I move to Houston? Should I go to San Antonio? I have to look a little bit more in San Antonio, but the first things first is selling this house. And I want to talk about next week how that market has changed and why I'm okay if I end up staying. I'll be all right. I'm good. We'll see. But I want to talk about it. I want to know what you guys think about Houston and Austin, comparing the two, not Austin, but Dallas, comparing the two. can't stay in Austin, I don't think. I need to upgrade. Gonna be hard for me to upgrade here just because of the way the market is here. Dallas and Houston make more sense. So we'll see. Right now, Houston is starting to make even a little bit more sense than Dallas. Not because of the experience I just had, because Houston is just super diverse. It just looks different from Austin. I'm just gonna say it just looks different, right? And even Dallas, it just looks and feels different. But everything's on the table, right? And I need more information. So next week I want to talk about that whole experience, what I want to do, and I would love to get your feedback on that, especially if you know about Houston, if you know about Dallas. I haven't been around either one of those places in a lot of years, so a lot has changed. I want no pros and cons, but ultimately it may come down to price for me, but we'll see. Again, first thing, we're going to sell this house. But that's it. So until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Greg Green Livestream. Yes, I'm back. I don't know what day I'm going to be back next week, but I will be back at some point in the next 7 days. Talk about that. Shoot me your ideas. Anybody who wants to come on and talk about whatever, you're always welcome. Normally I put the link in the chat. I didn't today, but that's okay. I should do that next time. But with that, I'm out. Have a good one. Oh, wait. Before I go, I want to jump on to Facebook and just shout out everybody that liked the show today. Shout out Chad Cole, Pete Spratt, Nevada Childs. I see y'all. Appreciate you. The post I had earlier, we'll share some comments. And likes, actually, let's do the likes. So I think the Galveston Beach Bar, that's where I got the most. So shout out to all those people I just mentioned before. My man Jimmy Giles. What up? Ghost out there, Antonio. Deshaun Norwood, I appreciate you. Wanda Harris. Edward, my old squad leader, Rodriguez. Thank you so much for liking the post, man. I appreciate it. My cousin Jimmy, I see you, girl. Thank you very much. Hey, Big Hank, Roy Cole. Thank you so much for liking the post. Sarah, thank you so much. Man, Ace out in New York. My man, my cousin Ernest. What's up, man? I appreciate you. Kevin's wife, Bonnie, thank you so much for liking the post. I appreciate you. My girl Nicole from back at work, back in the day. You still at work up there, girl? What's up? Tevis Mitchell, my old Marine Corps buddy from back at Okie. All right, I see them girls are getting so big and they're all grown up now. Shout out to you. Happy Father's Day to you, by the way. My man Klein, old Marine Corps buddy. What up? I appreciate it. How many more? 49 more. Good God. Let's see if I get everybody. Just want to show my love. Show my love. June, what up? My old St. Ed's classmate. Kinfolk Reggie Perry. Dewana, what up? I see you. Kathleen Martin, say what's up to your mom, Kathleen. I appreciate you liking the post. Oh, Tanaya Anderson. You still around, Rock Tanaya? Thank you so much for liking the post. Hit me up if you are. Juan, you know I'll be seeing you on the social media. Juan be everywhere. Shout out to Juan, Kevin Chesser, Kelly Taylor, old Sam from back in my 24-hour days, classmate Nancy Crossway. Hey, I appreciate you. Miss Posey, thank you so much. Ikari from Okinawa, thank you. Sonora, Rebecca 24, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. My cousin Matt. I don't know who's Sunnyside. Sunnyside up. I don't know who that is, but thank you. Tom, out in Woodway. What's up, Tom? I didn't come see you, Tom. You know what I mean? Richard Wright, thank you so much. Robert Rios, my old class buddy. Jennifer Wolf. Teresa Dixon, thank you. Thank you, my mother St. Anne's classmate. My cousin Juan, DeJuan Booker, Alicia, Leanne, Rajvan, Mo Mariko Boys out of Thailand. Rajvan, what's that now? Thank you. Oh, Chris Johnson, you know about East Street on Juneteenth. Thanks, man. I appreciate you liking the chat or liking the post. Jonathan Stites, my neighbor, Marlene, I appreciate you. My man Willie, I know you want me to move Dallas dogs. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I saw those houses that you sent me, man, and those are great. And I'll text you a little bit, but too small, man. I need some more square footage. My man Anson, back in the day, 24. I appreciate you. Nita Jones, Eric, Carrie, Jack Sellers, 24. Tony, Mai, Ashley, Ms. Louie, Chris Asaka, thank you so much. My realtor down in Dallas, Annette, I see you. I appreciate it. Latanya Butler, Daniel from HEB. What up, D? What's up, dog? Leah, Glenda, where's Mike? Where's Mike at, Glenda? I appreciate you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for liking the post. Isabella, I appreciate it. Kelly Pratt, one of my, when I used to teach those classes, she used to come to my class all the time. So, thanks everyone who liked the chat, or liked the post, keep saying the chat. Who liked the post. I'm going to be back next week. I don't know when, but I'll be back. I'll remind you. But I'm out. Peace.